All right, hi everyone out there. This is DayTraderRockStar with a special, I guess I call it an educational video. Got a lot of emails out there coming in to ironaction at yahoo.com just in case. But a lot of emails have been coming in and comments on the videos about people who are trading under the account value of 25,000, where they cannot be so they're under like so-called day trader restriction status, where you can only place 3 day trades in a 5 day period. I mean, this really limits your action in a market like this. So how do you get past that point? All right, a lot of people don't know that you can actually trade futures. Um, you don't. There's no restriction on trading futures, and the futures are actually trading the markets, not trading stocks, but you'll be trading the markets, the Dow, the S&P, or the Nasdaq in general. So you would have to, and these you would stick to the E-mini futures with your account under 25 grand, and usually you would probably stick to 1 or 2 contracts. The example I'm going to give here is the S&P, which actually is this one is probably the most followed E-mini future contract that we have in the market. It's the inat. Well, actually, it's the E-mini. It's called the ES. And then you have a code which represents the month, the current month that's being traded, or the future month. And it would be December, which would be Z, and then the year 7. So it would be the ESZ7. You would be trading the ESZ7. This is just an example of the S&P 500 chart, which pretty much corresponds with the futures. The S&P futures would correspond with the S&P 500, and like I said, you could actually trade this under 25,000 in and out as many times as you want. The thing is, it's a very volatile market. If you don't know what you're doing, you could actually get hurt real bad. But if you do have an advantage to it, then you can actually make a lot of money and build your account up to over that 25,000. Say you're under 15,000 or 18,000 or 20,000 or whatever you need. You can easily do it trading the futures. If you have discipline, the right tools, and right patience. These are the 3 keys you need. The right tools, the patience, and the discipline. These are the 3 keys. So again, my whole reason I am doing these videos is I really don't believe in the people going out there selling their systems. I mean, systems work one day and they don't work they don't work the next day. It's not that everyone's always right. So why are you going to pay $1,000 to $2,000 for someone's information where they're making money? If their system was able to, their system was so great, they wouldn't need to be selling their system. All right, they'd be making money, plenty of money on their system. Now, I believe, as a trader, and I've been trading the markets for over 10, 12 years now. I don't even know how long. I don't even keep track anymore. But you learn the market. You learn what works and you learn what doesn't work. You've traded the bulletin board stocks. You traded penny stocks. You moved on. You trade everything basically. You trade the tech bubble. You make money. You lose money. You go broke. You get money back. And you eventually find what works. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just pass it on, because I feel like, if I'm successful, I might as well, share the wealth with everyone else. And I think that's what life's about. It's not about, trying to scam people out of their money and stuff. And that's what this basically is about. So I just want to help as many people as I can make as much money as they can, and just, just bring it to everyone. All right. So this is like I said, this is how I usually trade the ES Mini. I usually trade on a 5-minute chart. I remember it's the ESZ7 is this future month. I usually do 1 to 3 contracts, depending on how I do. And again, I'm a very bullish, or I would say a bull person, so it's hard for me to short the market. So basically, as I trade my stocks, if the market's going down, I'll pick up stocks on the way down, and I find cheap. But I'll also trade the futures, and I usually trade bounces on the ES. Again, you can make a lot of money in this market just shorting the market and stuff. But again, if you're constantly, believe in the good economy and stuff, and you believe things are going good, it's hard to always have that, go from a pessimistic view to an optimistic view on a turn of a switch. And there's people out there that do that. I just like to have the patience instead of waiting for my setups and trade the market. So I trade the ES futures on the stochastics, and just to let you know, you can do this very easily. Again, I do this. I'm going to start doing this on my radio on DayTraderRockStar.com. Now I'm going to start adding this on because I feel this is very important for people out there that can't really day trade stocks, but they want to trade the market. So this is how you would do this. So you can either trade the ES, the NQs. All right, these are the two major ones. You also have the Dow futures, and then you have the larger futures, and there's a vast, the YMs of the Dow futures, and there's many other ones you could trade. It's just these are the three main ones: the YM, the ES, and the NQs, the minis. And again, you could actually trade this for less than, again, people who have less than $5,000 could trade one contract. I think you only need less than $3,000 to trade a contract of the futures. And, and again, I'll go, if there's more questions on it, I'll explain the profits and the benefits and the negatives of this in future videos. But just to go over, this is one of the formations I traded today, and this is a great formation that you want to find. It's called the W pattern. All right, so right now we actually had a W pattern, which actually could be considered also a double bottom. So you see this W pattern forming right here, right? And then this would be a W pattern. Then what you want to find actually is you want to actually buy that first pullback. That first pullback is the key. And now if you could time this with the stochastics, that's a perfect setup. And this was actually a perfect setup on the ES, as the stochastics timed perfectly in an oversold level on a double bottom right here. So I usually put the double stochastics level. I usually put down to around the 10 level here, and an oversold market could always continue to be oversold, especially in a big sell-off like this, as you notice the waves of selling down at the lows, and we're not bouncing off these lows. But when we finally bounce and we get a pull back and we're coming down, now two indicators are setting up. You have a double bottom down here. You have a bottom around 1451, and you have a stochastic coming down here. All right, so then we have two indicators that might be lining up. So I want to watch those two very closely and see how they match up. So I see the rebound there, and now we have our W pattern being formed, and we have the first pullback. And then I want to take a position in that first pullback as the stochastics are rising, and then we get a nice run in there, and then you want to take your profits. After one contract could bring you easily $300 on the ES or the NQ trading this real fast, and you're talking on $2,500 investment. You could be making on one contract $300, $400 moves in this market. So again, I'll be doing this. I just want to go over this. This is one of the trades I did today, and it's something to look forward to. Just keep this in your toolbox. It's called a W pattern. It's very important, and the stochastics. And the stochastic setups is 14-3. 14 on the fast, 3 on the slow, 14K, 3D. Again, this is all stochastic slow. There's two stochastics, so stochastics fast and stochastics slow, stochastics. So again, you also want to set this up with your pivot point. So if you have a pivot point chart that can match up with this, you can have three indicators set up, and all these indicators line up, then you have a great opportunity. You might want to load up on two contracts and double your profits. Again, keep your money management real tight. If it doesn't work out, you want to take that loss right away. You don't want that loss to be more than a point or two. And then you're just playing very conservatively, and and you stick to this conservative nature, you're going to make money. All right, and you want some good examples. Like I said, just tune in on the radio, DayTraderRadio.com, and I'll try to call those trades live tomorrow for you, as I'll be trading a lot of futures as this market settles out here. Another great indicator was the downward trend line here. So this was the fourth indicator right here. And once you broke through this downward trend line, you had this nice little rally here. So there was four. You had a W pattern, you had a pullback, you had a downward trend line, you had a moving average breakthrough. If you just had the stochastics, and if you just had patience for all these indicators to line up, you could make money each day. It doesn't mean that you have to be in the market trading every minute of the day. This trade didn't happen until about 2:30. All right, and when that happened, it was easy money. All right, it was easy money to get this money. You waited till taxes came back. You could try to test the waters down here at a double bottom area, as we had this to turn up on the statistics. You just buy, or you could have waited for the trend line break and then buy there. All right, or you could have waited for the pullback on the W and buy there. So you had a lot of opportunities here. You'll start to feel the market eventually, and this is ways to make money if you don't have over 25,000 in your account. All right. All right, so this is one example. I'll be bringing you more examples with some videos as the throughout the weeks as they come. All right, this is Day Trader Radio, and this is bringing you a little extra. I'll see you in the markets tomorrow. Hope everything goes good for you.